Hey, all, it's Tom. Well, we've done a lot of knives over the years, and as I'm getting older, I'm developing a turkey waddle. I don't care. But anyway, we've done a lot of knives over the years, and I've done some reviews on my rucksack versus my hunter model Swiss Army knives, and I honestly do believe that you should not be in the woods without a Swiss Army knife. It's going to be your most used knife. So whether I go out in the woods with my Western 49 Bowie on my side or my Gerber Prodigy, Swiss Army knives are usually my most used, and I've been using them since the 80s. So, and I've got a bunch of them. I've got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Got seven of them. I've got the rucksack model. I've got the hunter model. I've got a model they called the mechanic. I bought that back in the late 90s. I got the huntsman model. Now I've got a Wenger version of the huntsman model, which we'll compare to versus one of these days between the two of them. And I also have a Tinker model Wenger. And I had a knife that years ago I lost. Now I was giving the guy guitar lessons one day, just like 6, 7 years later. His son was fishing at the same spot I was and found my knife. So I had a friend of mine that was real sick and he needed something. A good brother of mine, and I gave him that knife to give him that something. There was always hope to get what you got back. So anyway, what we're doing today is going to take a look at the Swiss Army Huntsman and how I use and carry it. Okay. Now, this is the Swiss Army Victorinox inox steel, which is French for stainless. So on this knife, I have the can opener as usual. Screwdriver, bottle opener, wire stripper. Now this knife here comes with a pair of scissors. I've tried these scissors, and you can actually cut a squirrel hide open. You can cut a breastbone open on a squirrel. I would imagine it'll work for rabbits. Also birds. I've taken out many a dove breast with these, just done. So it has a good pair of scissors. Has the legendary Swiss Army knife saw. These things are sharp as all get out. Oddly enough, Swiss Army knives saws cut on the pull, not the shove. You'll see sawdust come out the front, but that's just cleaning the channel out. But a couple little pulls, great saws. And they work great for a ferro rod. Phenomenal ferro rod strikers. Then you have 2-inch, what is it? It's about a 2.5-inch blade. On this one, you also have the small blade with your tweezers, your toothpick. Now, I always used to make fun of this, if I find a bottle of wine. But while you're out in the woods, if you're going to be, putting stuff up, shelters and whatnot, there's your toggle pull. You just wrap your paracord. How are we going to, there we go. Just wrap your paracord around like this. See how that fits in there? And that's your toggle pull. Chris Wood showed me that little trick. I was like, wow, that's pretty good, man. You can also burrow wood with this. If you wanted to get a small hole, you could take the tip of that, and it will get you a small hole started. So, we have all that, and a box of ice cream too. We have a package holder, which same deal. You can use that as a toggle pull. You can use that for a lot of things. I've used it for a hook disgorger at one time. You put it down and get the hook caught on it, pull it right out. And you have this great sewing awl. There we go. I also have this great sewing awl. And you just make your hole in your leather or canvas, run your thread through there, and push it down through, run your bottom thread, and pull up. It works. This is sharp enough to, if you don't want to use anything else, it will get your ferrule. It will get your ferrule rod going for you. It'll burrow holes in wood. You just a lot of uses for that little awl. This one's in black. They come in a multitude of colors, and anymore you can buy extra scales if you don't like the black. You can get them in orange, yellow, camo, you name it. But I like the Huntsman knife to carry with me because of all the features rather than just a Tinker model. Now, how I work this whole knife is you got a lanyard ring here, of course, and I put a lanyard on it. On that lanyard, I bought a drilled out ferrule rod. It's got a little, wire holder, I guess. Excuse me. And I took a piece of that black and white fire starter. I burrowed a hole in it with the awl and put it all together. So not only do I have my knife, I also have a little fire kit. Tried it. Will get me lots of fires. Now I've used this on multiple occasions, hunting, fishing, generally, out in the woods, walking around town. Police don't usually mind if you're carrying a Swiss Army knife. Now, unfortunately, I have to say, if you run into trouble, nobody likes getting a blade in them. It doesn't matter if it's 3 inches or 7 inches. But it will get you out of, if you break down and you're in the town overnight or whatever, it'll get you what you need. You can't baton with them and stuff like that. You can, but you got to be very careful. And it's a great little knife. Not only do I have the knife, but I also have the fire kit with me. Now, nowadays, you can buy little things that replace the toothpick or the tweezers, whichever you want. They're called fireflies. And they're a really soft miniature little ferrule rod that you put in there. Lars over at Survival Russia has one in all of his Swiss Army knives. And watched him light 1,000 fires with them. So they do work, and it might be something that, you might want to think about. I personally, myself, I like these, small but full-size ferrule rods myself. Now, I can put this in my pocket. This goes under my belt loop, or under my waistband, or either side of my belt loop. So my belt will be sitting like this, knife's in my pocket. The knife goes to get pulled out, you'll know it because these will tug on you. Now, there's another gentleman by the name of Felix Imler, a gentleman from Sweden. He does a lot of work with Swiss Army knives. So, I was watching his video one day, and what I did is this has a little nubbin that sticks out here so that it makes it a small flathead screwdriver. Well, if you take your file or stone and stone it completely so it's in a curve, and then put an edge on this, now you've got another way of lighting your ferrule rod. On a lump. There goes the rest of them. Anyway, it'll make feather sticks, as you can see kind of here. Now you have another device to do your ferro rod with. You also have a scratching device, which if you sharpen that corner up, you can use it for carving. You scratch out little holes and divots, okay? I haven't tried that yet. Let me try that. Yeah, you could use it to get a bearing block started, or a bow drill bearing, hole started. So that's the can opener. Now the other thing he did was take the flathead screwdriver, the big one, sharpen it to a chisel edge. This is sharp. Now what you can do with that is you basically got yourself a little wood chisel. It ain't the best in the world, and this one probably could be a little sharper. But as you see, you got yourself a little wood chisel. Now, what he also does is he takes this here on the blade, he gets a Dremel tool and he makes a concave in it. So now you've got a gouge. The other one he files, or Dremels or whatever, to a nice wood chisel. But now you got a gouge too, which is all helpful in the woods, because if you're lost, it's very easy to make a spoon. There's a lot of other things that you can do with these Swiss Army knives. You just have to go over to his channel. There's like 29 videos of mods you can do with a Swiss Army knife. That's Felix, F-L-I-X, Himmler, I-M-M-L-E-R. So that's my Huntsman Swiss Army knife. I would advise you, and I'm going to in the future, either getting yellow or orange scales for this, because if you drop it, this could be your most important knife. If you drop it, you want to be able to see it well. So, this is Tom. I want to thank you for your time and your patience. I hope you enjoyed the video. And we will see you guys on the next one.